Hey, thanks for stopping by Mystic Messages. I hope everyone is doing well today. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to see everyone. Today's message is a little interesting. I was watching TV last night, and this message came over me with urgency. And as always, these messages won't apply for everyone, and those who need to receive them will receive them in divine timing. And if they don't apply, please let them fly. You're always welcome to come back for the next message. The message that came through last night was from Source. Uh, there seems to be many of you out there who are being nudged, being called. You've been asking for help. You've been asking for guidance. You've been asking for a way forward. However, there is a blockage holding you back. Now, that blockage could be anything from fear to procrastination. Now, here's one thing you need to understand. When the universe opens a door for us, the door will not be open indefinitely, because Source needs us to do certain things, especially if you're being called to a spiritual path. We're each being given an assignment to move forward with. Everyone's is different and everyone's is unique, and everyone has a purpose. Uh, God has selected many people out there and has been calling, and some are answering, some are not answering, unfortunately. Now, that leaves God no choice, unfortunately, to now search elsewhere, kind of like a company. If you apply for a job and then you don't, go back to begin working, the employer has to find another person to fill that position. So this is kind of how it is. It's not a punishment. It's not that God wants to close you out. Source wants everyone that is being called to do their part, because there's so many better things that are waiting for you on the other side. The fulfillment that's on the other side is beyond your wildest dreams and expectations. But you have to take that first step. You can't let fear or, people hold you back from moving forward. You know, a lot of times we're stuck in positions, unfortunately, with people who we can't carry with us into the next realm, into the next dimension, because they don't vibrate with our frequency. And that happens, unfortunately. It's part of the course with this thing. As your vibration rises, the people who are on the lower vibration who choose to stay there will no longer resonate with you. And therefore, this can create a blockage. It can create a blockage from you moving forward. Now, it's unintentional in some ways, okay? On their part, it's completely unintentional. A lot of times, people who are still in the 3D are open vessels to being used by the darker realms that want to prevent light workers and chosen ones and star seeds and the like from moving the world forward into a peaceful existence. Okay? It's all part of the plan. A lot of times it sucks when God asks you to do something. You're not always going to want to do what you're being asked. But we have no choice in that. For example, I have no choice in doing this. This is what I'm being called to do. I never wanted to do this. I've mentioned this many times before. But I realized as I'm doing it, I've noticed myself growing in a different direction that I thought I couldn't achieve. And actually, here I am. So you can use me as an example. If I could do this, do what God is asking of me, then anyone can. Because believe me, I can be stubborn, and I fought this tooth and nail. I knew there was something I needed to do, but I wanted to do it my way. And we have to remember that doesn't always work. You know, there is no compromising. God has reasons for why, we are given specific assignments or why he gives an individual a specific assignment, because he knows that individual's potential, better than we know ourselves, you know. Now, whether that be, whether you call them source, God, whoever, it doesn't matter. The higher superior being who created the entire universe knows who we are, in and out. And everything was planned for us from the beginning. Okay. And this is how we learn. This is how we move forward, by helping each other. You know, like I'm here to help people to, express themselves, to feel free, to give them encouragement, to help them move forward on their path without fear. And you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. You just have to take that first step, because the door is unfortunately going to close soon. And Source doesn't want to see that happen to anyone, especially those who've been struggling, especially those who are on this path, because those on this path struggle immensely. Bottom line. And it's not, we're not, sitting out here crying about it. It's just that's just the fact. We have more difficult lives, a more difficult path, but that's intentional again, because the difficult life path that we led gave us everything we needed to go out there and do what God is asking us to do. That was our school. So when we could stop looking at the past events in our lives as being horrible and shitty, let's look at them as learning lessons. If we can do that, we can make peace with that and move forward. You know, and aside from people, preventing us from moving forward, our thoughts can keep us from moving forward. Our behaviors keep us from moving forward. You know, all these things go hand in hand. This is not an easy journey. This is the road less traveled, and it's not for everyone. And Source understands that, but he offers specific individuals an opportunity to grow, to grow closer with Source and the divine realms, to see the world from a different perspective, to try to bring and promote goodness on the planet. And we can all do that. You don't even have to be on a spiritual journey to do that. There's nothing special about any of this. You know, either you have the call or you don't. Regardless of what the situation is, we can all play a part in making the world a better place. Regardless of who you are, regardless of your background, remember, your past doesn't define you. Source doesn't judge and always leaves room open for those who are willing to make changes in their life for the better. Doesn't matter all the bad things you've done in the past. But if you're willing to make a change and make amends for those things, Source will always have his arms wide open for you. But you have to move forward. You have to follow what you're being asked to do, or else things can't change for you. That's the bottom line. And I hate to say this to you. I'm saying it, with all the love in my heart. I'm not trying to command you to do anything. I'm not trying to place fear in your heart. I'm just trying to pass along a message that I was given that someone out here needs to hear. And I hope it helps them. I hope that this message helps them to finally make that decision and gives them the courage to move forward, because I know that it's possible. They just have to take the first step. And if that's you, you just have to take the first step. You got to start believing you the way that God believes in you, the way that I believe in you, the way that the entire spiritual community will believe in you and have you back. You'll be amazed at what's out there if you just move forward, walk into the light, and move forward. Leave the past behind. Whatever negativity happened in your past is the past. Make peace with it. It sucks. I know. It's hard. It's hard to forgive those who have harmed us. It's hard to be gracious when someone's being nasty. And you're going to run into that too, by the way, when you're on this journey. Family members, friends, they're going to test you. And it's not even them doing it. It's the darker forces, using them as a vessel to test you, to see, are you going to crack? Are you going to move forward? Or are you going to revert back to the old ways? The choice will always be yours. So please think about it. Source wants you there. I want you there. The rest of the entire spiritual community wants you there. We all need to be in this together if we're going to make the changes that are necessary to make this world a better place for everyone. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope everyone has a good day, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.